Evelyn to Philip, January 20th, 1944. Dearest Phil, well, how do you like it? I'll be disappointed if you don't, as I've already ordered a double portion. It cost me 60 cents wholesale, $1 retail, for 100 of these single sheets and 50 envelopes. On the next batch, I'm having Pennsylvania spelled Penna. Yesterday, I was the deadest chippy you ever saw. I arrived home at 6 to find your V-mail of January 10th, 1944. I'm glad you told me that there won't be any mail for the time you are on furlough. I'm sure the jackpot will be worth waiting a week. Adele was so happy to see me that she darn near jumped out of Ruth's arms to get into page 2, mine. She hugs me and kisses me and won't let me put her down. Yes, sir, it is a grand feeling. Al had to report to his draft board on Tuesday for a hearing and got a 6 months furlough, as they now call it. I told him to stick to the board in New York, as they are definitely more lenient. It's mostly due to Ethel's pregnancy. She expects the baby around my birthday. After eating and getting Adele to bed, Ruth and I went downtown. We didn't get into town until 8 and had only an hour to shop. Ruth is unusually hard to fit, and we had a picnic. We finally got a lovely dress. Cost $15.95. Can you imagine? $16 for a dress for her. It is worth it though. It's a pale purple with a dark purple suede belt. It's made beautifully, and I won't, page 3, attempt to describe the intricate details of the dress. It does have one trimming I'll mention: silver hobnail buttons. It had a round neck with a bow tie effect, well padded shoulders, 3/4 length sleeves, and a full skirt. I almost bought myself a lovely gray sports dress, but I'm going to wait till I have more time to shop and more money. Remember those coupons I had and I was supposed to get a sheet and pillowcases? They were unable to fill my order, and I got 2 large Turkish towels and a thermos bottle. That is, I ordered them. I'm still waiting for them. Received a V-mail from Brother Eddie saying he had arranged to meet you in London. I'm wondering, page 4, if you saw him while on furlough. Adele set a record yesterday. She didn't wet a single diaper. Ruth caught her every time. And, sweet, you ought to hear your daughter say mama with her clear bell-like voice. I have a feeling she'll really begin to talk soon. Some babies do things gradually. Not Adele. She tries to startle everyone. She calls Mom Baba. Adele doesn't actually know enough to call me Mama, and I doubt if she will for a little while yet. Goldie is starting to blossom forth. I think you ought to write to them. I think they are a bit disappointed that you do not mention your reaction. Write them a nice letter, baby, will you? It's time to say I love you, Phil. A kiss from your chips. Your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, January 20th, 1944, 10:30 p.m. My own Evie, here I am again, a little late, but well, here I am. Glad to see me, sweet? You're looking lovely, as usual. I'm still reading your last batch of letters and still finding items of interest that I had previously overlooked. Your letter of the 31st is so full of the charm of Adele that I shall never tire of reading it. You want to know what to do about my clothes. Just pack them away and forget about them. There's no sense in having them cleaned. If I keep losing weight, I won't be able to use any of my old clothes. Already I am some 11 or 12 pounds thinner than when I left home. Sorry, sweetheart, that you spent such a dull New Year's Eve. I can well appreciate the intensified feeling of loneliness you experience on the holidays. It is then that I miss you most, my darling. I remember one particular New Year's Eve, I think the only one we spent together, when we were still living at 5447 Sansom. Remember? We had gone in town with page 2, Dot and Snuff, and 2 other couples, I think. That part of it is hazy. And I recall that the Aldine and the Boyd were jammed to the doors, so we wound up by ourselves at the Nixon and saw Ann Sheridan in that picture about the 90s, which I didn't care too much for. The title escapes me. The picture of the whole evening is fairly fresh in my mind, even to stopping at a cigar store on 52nd Street for something or other, but the details have a way of getting mixed up with those of other evenings. At the time, I know, it seemed a pretty dull way to see the New Year's in, but what I wouldn't give to live that dull evening over again. You insist on being pessimistic, honey, about the length of time that is to elapse before I come home to you. I have every confidence that we'll see the next New Year in together. But I'm rather thankful that you take the long-range view, because feeling the way you do, you are less apt to be impatient, and since impatience breeds discontent, and discontent isn't easy to live with, you are much better off feeling as, page 3, you do. If you'll refer back to my first or second London letter, you will find that I saw Adventures of Tartu quite a while back. Whatever made me think you saw Princess O'Rourke? Jack N. didn't say a thing about his love life in his last, and nothing about any whack either. Forgot to tell you, received Gloria's New Year's greeting among the batch of other mail. Today, along with your V-mail of January 5th, a New Year's greeting from, you'd never guess, Ruth Crothers of the good old Label Bureau. Was I surprised? Never mind this cigarette lighter, sweet. I bought one in London for $1.30, and it's quite sufficient for my needs. You have my sympathy, Chippy, for the sketchy mail delivery. I am plagued the same way. About that 8x10 you asked for. I'll see what I can do on my next pass to London. If Ed and I can manage to be there together, I'll see to it that he takes some pictures too. Glad you like them so much, baby. The sideburns that caused all the comment were entirely unintentional, for lack of a better word. Page 4. The truth is, I needed a haircut. I don't, as a rule, wear them that long. However, if you really like them that way, and I never could understand why, then that is the way I shall wear them when I get home. Even if everyone else can't bear the sight of it, and I must confess I'm one of those, your wish is my command. The pin you inquired about is the European Theatre of Operations, ETO ribbon. In your letter of the 7th, you claim that you mailed off 9 letters in one night. Marvelous! But how in hell do you manage it? It takes me all my spare time to write you a fairly long letter. I should say the average airmail letter, such as this one, takes all of 2 hours. I'm still curious to know your weight, sweet, because I can get a pretty good idea from that alone how you look and feel at present. Seems to me you are overworking again, what with doing your own laundry, etc. This always worries me, Ev, and I wish you would find a way to ease up on yourself. Your paragraph about Adele's reaction to my picture was very gratifying reading, and my heart, page 5, swelled with the sweetness of the little scene. But somehow I find it rather too much to believe of the tyke. Is it possible she understands all that you imply? Was it really just that way, or are you just trying to make me feel good? If that was your intention, sweet, you succeeded for better than you could have hoped, far better than you could have hoped, which just about answers all your letters. Now I can look forward with a clear conscience to the next batch. Come on, something. I took it rather easy all day today. Lunch consisted of meatloaf, spiced and very delicious, mashed potatoes, corn, coleslaw, bread and butter, coffee, and cherry jello. So good did I find the meal that I broke a precedent, went back, and did it all over again. What's more, I finished the second edition right down to the last lick and enjoyed it. I am still passing up breakfast and supper. Breakfast because I hate to get out of bed just to walk down to the mess hall for dehydrated eggs, which I detest, and coffee. Supper because I am never hungry at that time due to the invariably sumptuous lunch. You expressed concern a while back because, page 6, because of my practice of eating one meal a day. What difference if I thrive on it? And I am thriving on it. This evening, a company of English entertainers came to the base to play for us. I can only say that now I can understand why the English import American movies, music, jive, etc. The English brand is corny to an extreme. However, it was good of them to take the trouble for us Yanks, and I will say, in all fairness to the Yanks, that they appreciated the good intentions of the entertainers. Under any other circumstances, they would have hooted them off the stage. Instead, they applauded generously and even laughed at the very unfunny gags. Incidentally, darling, that is why I started this so late. It is now past midnight and time to hit the sack. Good night, my Evie. I'm thinking how I used to say it in better days. The sweet feel of you is deeply ingrained in me, and I can recall that feeling at will. I'm doing so now, baby. No, don't turn over. Snuggle up to my back as you always did. Ah, Chippy, that's heaven. Good night, baby. I love you. Your Phil. P.S. Kiss Adele for me. Love to all.